Welcome back to Hello Insider as we discuss Succession Season 3, Episode 3. In this episode, the FBI finally manages to get their hands on Waystar Royco files. Tom offers himself up to take on jail time, and Kendall laps up the attention surrounding him, good and bad. So, Francesca, just so much happened in this episode, I don't even know where to start.
No, it feels like, I mean, obviously I thought episode 1 and 2 were brilliant, but I feel like episode 3 has really kicked it into high gear. And you're like, oh God, okay, there's actually quite a lot of things happening, isn't there? It just really went up a gear.
Exactly. And I think, there's a lot of things about how the moving loyalties from like the first 2 episodes are starting to sort of click into place. So, I think Shiv did have a lot of sympathy for Kendall and wasn't quite sure what move she was going to make. And now after the, the company-wide Q&A, where Kendall starts playing that song, oh my God, it's so horrendous, like over the top of her sort of big moment, her first big moment as the president, just like really set it in stone that they're like adversaries now.
Yeah.
And I think that is going to be really interesting going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just trying to show that he's not afraid to do anything, is he? He's really trying to say, don't forget about me, I'm still here, I'm not going anywhere, and I will do what I have to do in order to get what I want. And it's just a bit like, oh, okay.
I think he's just like absolutely desperate to be relevant. The same with the good tweet, bad tweet bit in the car as well, that it's like, why, like, it's like he's such a sucker for punishment. Like, why are they playing that game?
But I also think he's just such a narcissist. He just absolutely loves talking about himself. He loves other people talking about him. He just if he's in the room with a group of people, why on earth would they all talk about anyone except for him? That's literally how he thinks. It's just so bizarre.
It's so true. But you know what I thought was really interesting about this episode was that there was a moment. So, he's loving it. He's loving that he's in the center of attention in the middle of this conversation. He thinks he's on the side of like right and he's doing everything properly. But then when he is like literally at the peak satisfied with himself, like having been in the office, then the like Logan's security, like right-hand man comes in, and it's the guy. I'm pretty sure it's the guy who helps cover up the death of the teenager in season 1 who Kendall left to die. And it's like, and he's like, what does he say? He's like, I'm watching you. And like, you just see, I'm like, oh my God, Jeremy Strong is amazing. Just like his whole face just absolutely drooping. It's like season 2 Kendall again, where he's just like broken and devastated. Speaking of someone who has not really been rewarded for really, really helping someone out, is poor old Greg, who is like, he is like splitting loyalties, can't decide which way's up. And like, I think it's just so funny that he blows off Tom because he thinks Kendall's giving him this watch as like a sign of like appreciation, and then it turns out that Kendall's not giving him a watch. Like Kendall doesn't care. Like now that part is done, Kendall's just thinking of himself. He's not having any sort of gratitude towards Greg. So then Greg's going back to them, telling them that Kendall's coming into the building and giving them inside information. So he is literally like just going back and forth between them. And I really don't know where he's going to end up, but I do feel for him a little bit, because I think he tried to do the right thing and he's just gotten absolutely nowhere by doing that.
I think it loops back to Kendall's narcissism. I think he kind of views himself as obviously more powerful. I mean, he is technically more powerful than Greg, but I think he really underestimates Greg, and Kendall thinks to himself, he's not going to leave me because he knows that I'm protecting him, and he knows that he did something in order to help me. So why would he all of a sudden abandon the team? So he's not going to be worried about the fact that Greg's now really upset with him that he didn't buy him this 40 grand watch. But Kendall needs to remember that he was the one that hid some of the papers from Tom in the first place. It's quite a bold move to do. And quite quick thinking on his part, when they were burning it on the flat, and he just held a couple down his trousers. And so I think again, it just loops back to how Kendall was so involved in his own world. He's not thinking beyond his blinkers, and I don't know, it may be that he ends up getting burned by Greg.
So obviously the episode sort of concluded with the FBI finally being let in, like Logan shouting at them to go away. Finally got him nowhere, and they've come in and they've seized all these documents. Do you think anything is going to come of it?
Oh, I really don't know. I have to say, I mean, they released a new trailer with the FBI coming into the building just before I watched episode 3. So I knew it was going to happen. But when I saw it in the trailer, I thought it was going to be something that happened a lot later in the series. And then when it happened in episode 3, I was like, oh God, it's happening. Like it's all starting to kick off. And so, yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be, yeah, really interesting. And I think quite telling that they just sort of appeared again quite early on in the series, and they're here, and no, you can't tell them to just go away and come back tomorrow. You can't really do that with the government. You can't really do that with the FBI. And so I think it's probably going to be quite nasty in that sense.
I think so too. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much again for joining us for our Succession Insider. Please leave comments below. We love hearing from you, and we will see you next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.